strange. This is a first love story we've all gone on. Last summer, an old bro and bandmate of mine came out from Chicago for a visit to LA. While here, we reminisced and laughed about some of our old days of sex, drugs, rock and roll. And, well, we played a band together in the Midwest. We met a lot of girls at the time because he was a good-looking one and I was, well, the lead singer. One night over dinner, he said he had always wanted to ask me what happened during a gig we had one night in Chicago when we had these two gorgeous girls lined up who had invited us home with them after the gig. I remember that night because these gals were extremely hot, a little drunk, and hanging all over us. A great formula for two horny musicians. Ron said he couldn't understand why I disappeared after the gig, how I could leave without him and these two willing and fun-loving beauties. I told him that perhaps this story will explain why I deferred the tempting pleasures of the flesh that night. When I was a kid in school, my mother, who was a dancer, taught me how, and not only did I love to dance, but I loved all the girls it attracted us. Back then, in the Middle Ages, unlike today, very few guys danced. So I was like in heaven. And one weekend, my partner and I won a dance contest, this weekly dance we used to go to. Afterwards, the hottest girl in the room approached me and asked me if I would show her some dance moves. Wow, lucky me, I thought. Now, I was used to getting girls' attention while dancing, but this was no girl. Sandy was a woman, at least 18 or 19. An Italian goddess with long black hair, black tights, and a leopard fur jacket. I was captivated by her royal hotness. We talked and danced until closing. However, when she wouldn't give me her phone number at the end of the night, I was a little bummed. But the next weekend dance, Sandy showed up, and again we talked, danced, and even made out. She had the softest lips I think I'd ever kissed to this day. But she was secretive about herself and still wouldn't give me her number, saying she had a strict Catholic Italian family, and I never knew a woman of mystery before, so my 17-year-old ass fell hard. After a few weeks of these amorous and intriguing meetings, I demanded that she tell me more about herself if we're going to continue in this relationship. To my surprise, Sandy breaks down crying and asked me if I would leave her if she told me the truth about herself. I assured her I love you and I'd never leave you, while wondering if she murdered somebody. To my naive amazement, Sandy told me that she was 20 years old and she had gotten married at 16 after getting pregnant. She said her husband was becoming increasingly jealous and abusive, accusing her of cheating on him for the last 2 years, though she claimed she never had. Since he didn't believe her anyway, she decided, well, she might as well cheat, and she fell for me. Why this dancing fool, I wondered to myself. To my continued surprise, Sandy said her mother was helping her with babysitting so she could work as a waitress to save enough money to leave her husband. I'd almost forgotten. She's got a 3-year-old daughter, and I promised to never leave her. So, this was why I only saw her on Friday nights. I learned that that was her husband's bowling league night. But did I have the balls to, after discussing our options and our time frames within this potentially sinful scenario, Sandy suggested we could see each other at her place on her days off, Tuesday and Thursday. And in the afternoon from around 3 o'clock until when I got out of school, until maybe sometime before 6. When Jesse, her husband, got home from work. And being the dumbass that I was, of course, lacking all good judgment, Tyler, this corny, lovesick 17-year-old schmuck, agreed to this dangerous arrangement, ostensibly to teach Sandy some dance moves, and perhaps for whatever moves I might learn from Sandy. The following Tuesday, I rushed to her apartment on the bus after school. After a brief dance lesson, we were on the couch making mad, passionate love like I had never known. Wow. After 2 more of these ecstatic dances, I left for the dreamy bus ride home. I couldn't wait for Thursday to come. So, when I returned to my beloved on Thursday, I'm surprised to find her 3-year-old daughter, Lisa, there, as her mother couldn't babysit that day. Now, she was the cutest little angel I'd ever seen. So we played some games together, and after Sandy put Lisa down for her nap, we rushed into the bedroom for some more fantasy fulfillment. It was always spectacular, but I always had to leave by 5:30 until Sandy could afford to move out. After a couple of months of our secret affair, and she comes to my high school graduation in January, dressed in her leopard fur coat and hat. Of course, my parents asked me, who the hell is this woman? So a few weeks later, one very cold and windy February day, Sandy and I lay naked on her bed, feeling the afterglow, while Lisa slept quietly in her bedroom. We hear a loud engine outside. Sandy says, "That's Jesse's truck." She flies out of bed, and it says, "Grab your clothes and school books and head out the back door." Excuse me. So I can't find my underpants. My clothes are in the living room. And so, anyway, so she rushes, into the bedroom where Lisa is, and she picks her up, and she takes her into the bathroom tub, runs the water in the bathtub, and poor little Lisa, half asleep, gets into the bed, and, as Jesse starts pounding on the front door. So there's no way now that we get into the back door without being seen by Jesse through the chain door. So Sandy whispers, "Get in the bedroom closet," which I did, while fearing for my life, and Jesse screaming, "Who's in there with you?" And Sandy yells, "Nobody, I'm just bathing Lisa, I'll be right there." And so she throws my clothes and books on top of me in the closet and returns to tending Lisa as Jesse, a construction worker, breaks through the chain door and storms inside. I'm still butt naked and frozen with fear, sitting on the floor in the back of his closet, as Jesse runs through every room yelling, "Who's in here?" I'll never forget seeing his work boots while he stood in front of the open closet door. It was like terror. Thankfully for me, he didn't push through the clothes and look deeper inside. I was too blinded in fear to know exactly what went on next, but I remember after she dried off poor little Lisa, Sandy was trying to calm Jesse down and get him to take her to the market so I could escape. But instead, he plops down on the couch with a beer and turns on the TV. So, trembling in fear and trying not to move, the pain all of a sudden that I feel, there's 2 curtain rods sticking into my naked ass. And I can't even move to get out of that because she's so scared. So, and I don't know how many hours I spent paralyzed in fear in that damn closet. Even after she finally got him out of there, I couldn't be sure if they really left, being out of my mind with visions of Jesse standing in front of the closet door with an axe, or in the kitchen with a butcher knife waiting for me to come out. I don't know, it was hours, days, I don't know how long it was, but when I eventually found my balls and mustered the faith to make a naked break for it, I stumbled out the back door, down the icy stairs, pausing on a level below to put on my pants and my shoes. I remember a lady gazing out her kitchen window at me as I guiltily fell down the last few steps and ran down the snowy street to the bus stop. Riding that cold and lonely bus home, I thought to myself, my stupid 17-year-old ass was actually still alive. So, back here in present-day LA, my friend Ron was amused by my story, but he didn't see the connection to our hot date with the 2 babes at our Chicago gig. I further explained to him that while talking to my girl after the concert, she drunkenly mentioned not only being Italian, but that she was separated from her abusive husband. I said to Ron, my friend, I knew in that moment I was no longer 17, and there was no way I would ever go home with another married woman again, separated or not, no matter how beautiful she is, and I haven't, since I was 17.